our warm-up on the left here, and we're going to try to tie that into how to do this problem on the right. So on the last day of the Ocean Bike Tours, the riders will be near Wild World amusement park. They plan to stop there. Admissions is $21 per person to visit to Wild World, okay? So your questions are all of these. Can you write an equation or a rule to calculate the cost? So that's your task, is you have to write an equation to calculate the cost. So make like a variable for cost, like C equals. And you want to make that equation. Okay, so talk it over with your neighbor, come up with an equation and see if you can go through steps 1, 2, and 3. Go through it. Okay, so Luke, what's your equation? C equals?
C equals,
You didn't write the equation down? Ellie, do you have an equation?
Yeah, I did. Total cost equals C.
Not quite.
Oh, I knew.
So let's think about it.
Oh,
I think you can figure it out, but it's maybe a little bit confusing. N is the number of people, so if there's one person, wouldn't you pay $21?
Yeah.
Okay. So Luke, if there's 2 people, what would you pay?
$42.
Yeah, because you'd do 21 times 2, right? You'd pay $42. And if there was 3 people, what would you have to do?
You multiply 21 times 3.
And you would get 63, right? So suppose you don't know how many people there are. You still have to have this 21 all the time because it's in all of them, right?
I just put N there.
Yes, you would just put N there, 21 times N.
I did Peter.
Thumbs up or thumbs down on that? Does that part make sense?
Yeah.
So your equation is just 21 times N. So think about it, you guys. Look at the geometry one that you're more comfortable with because we practiced it. This was our equation, right?
Yeah.
We just made an equation with all those letters. And then we put in the things we knew. So this, we made a new equation, but this is cost. And our cost was 21 times N, because all we know there is it's 21 times however many people. So Sandra, how are you going to do the second part?
15 times 21.
Right, so you would just take your equation and say it's 21 times 15. And what's 21 times 10?
210.
Right? And what's 21 times 5? I'm just thinking area model out loud.
105.
Right. So I could just do 210 plus 105,
Equals 315.
$315. And that's my total cost. Raise your hand if that makes sense.
Can I do raise your hand? Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Can I
Zach,
do
you need to come closer. Let's go. You can sit next to Luke.
three?
Evan, try setting up the 3.
Okay, well, 3.
What's your equation?
We're trying to find the amount of people there.
Right.
Since, so I did P equals.
Can we use this equation?
Yeah, we can.
Can we start with that?
Yeah. So.
I'll copy it here. C equals 21 times N.
Yeah, and then you have to do equals 231.
Right, because you know the cost is 231.
Yeah.
So 231 is equal to 21 times N. So how do you get N? I think that's what you were going to do right away.
Then it's 231 divided by 21.
Yeah, because you have to go backwards, right? Since we have a multiply, you have to do the opposite. So 231 divided by 21 is equal to N.
Which equals 11. Yeah.
Which equals 11 people, right?
11 equals.
So, Evan, what you were doing would have been fine on a test paper if your first equation was what you're saying out loud, but since we're kind of making sure everybody remembers, I wanted to start with the equation above. Okay? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, so now we're going to just practice easier, just practice solving. So take a look at, well, that's not a very interesting page.
That's a very.
Take a look at the next 2 pages here and see if you could solve those with the person next to you or at your table or alone. So now there's not really a story to go with it. It just looks more like an algebra class. See if you can figure that out. Okay, so in other words, Y's the rule, right?
Yeah.
So how about I do example 1 and then you guys try example 2? Okay. So if Y is the rule, here's my rule. I have to do part A. So if I'm going to do part A, I'm going to take my rule and I'm going to find Y if I know X is 12. So I'm going to put that X in here. You get it?
So it would be Y equals 100 minus 4 times 12.
Yeah, Y equals 100 minus 4 times 12. So Y is equal to 100
48.
minus 48,
Which equals 52.
52. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Nico, move away from Zeke. Like farther. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Sure? Yep. Okay, so for part B, let me move this over here so we can put part B over to the right. I'm going to take the same equation and I'm going to do part B. But for part B, I don't know what Y is. I mean, I don't know what X is. I have to find X, but I know what Y is. So I'm going to take the Y. Where do you think I'd do with that, Zach?
You're probably going to take the Y, since it equals, if it equals 64,
Uh-huh.
it's going to be 64.
Right. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. So 64 equals 100 minus 4x.
So 64 minus 100 would have to be, well, whatever 4 times x is, and then you do whatever that is divided by 4, right?
Yeah, so let's think about that. Imagine that 4x is just something. What would you have to subtract from 100 to get 4x?
64. 52.
100 minus what is 64?
Oh, 36.
36. Good job. Okay, so Gabby, with that 36, we know what's missing in the box. The hidden number is 36. So I have to say 36 is equal to whatever in the box. So 4 times x, there's got to be 4 times some number. This has to be equal to 36.
It's not.
Right.
So it's like 4, whatever is, so the number that is multiplying by 4 has to multiply by 4 to get to 36?
Yeah, the number that you multiply by 4 has to give you 36, so the opposite of multiply is divide, right?
Yeah.
So we know x, like Z said, is 9. Okay, do you guys think you could try that for example 2?
Doesn't it say x equals 12?
No, this was part A
Okay.
and part B. So would it be more helpful to, if I separate, I can't really separate them. So part B is over here.
Okay.
Part A is on the left, part B is on the right. Now you guys try the right hand side of the page. So Daisy, tell me what you did for part A.
For A,
Uh-huh.
so what you have to do is 2x plus 30.
So y equals 2x plus 30. What do we know about this?
Okay.
What does part A tell us?
Alright, you have to figure out x.
Right, no, we have to figure out y if we know x.
What's x equals 10?
Yeah.
So 2 times 10 is 20. and
Right.
Plus 30 is.
Perfect.
I forgot that x equals 10 and that was.
But you got it. The thumbs up, thumbs down? Okay, Sandra, what about part B? So y equals 2x plus 30, what do we know this time?
That y is 60.
Right, so we put the 60 here. 60 equals 2x plus 30, so what are you going to do about that?
I knew that. Yeah, 30.
Yeah, because you have to think about what plus 30 makes 60, right? So think about like that being a missing number. That missing number has to be what, Sandro?
30.
It has to be 30 because 30 plus 30 makes the 60. So that means that this has to be 30. So what does x have to be? Right. Because we know x has to be 30 divided by 2.
I did it like the inverse operation.
Yep, it is an inverse operation.
60 minus 30 is
Yep.
30. And then instead of 2 times x, it'd be the 30, which is
Right.
whatever x times 2 equals divided by.
Perfect. That sounds perfect. Okay, so this is what we're going to do.